On this episode of Structural Sense, we're going to show you guys a couple ways that you can improve your bench.
Welcome to episode 12 of the Structural Sense podcast. As you can see behind me, we've moved into our green screen from our studio because Ryan is going to take some time today and talk about 2 or 3 ways you can improve your bench press with some tips he's going to show you. And you'll notice he's setting up behind us on the cable machine. You'll notice that none of his tips have anything to do really with doing an actual bench press. So Ryan, I'll turn this over to you.
All right, so the first tip that I'm going to give you guys is a very simple one. Whenever anyone wants to look at a bench press and want to increase it, they always think about doing more bench. But part of the problem is they don't do enough back. So my first tip to you guys would be, at the beginning, do 3 times more back than chest workout so that your back evens out with your chest. Right? So what I'm gonna do right now is just show you guys a couple exercises. If you can't do pull-ups, you can do a lat pull-down, right? But I'm gonna show you guys a pull-up first and how to set up for it. We're gonna get Steve to come over to the side. Turn over here. So you can see. All right, so we're gonna set up right here, just hang long. The biggest thing with the pull-up, what you want to do is make sure that you relax the bottom and then drive your chest to the ceiling before you even start. Pull straight up and then come straight down, right? Let everything hang, retract, pull straight up, and come straight down. Pull-ups overall will help. Pull-ups overall will help with the posterior chain, and therefore when you work the posterior chain, you're more structurally balanced. Okay? Our second exercise that we'll get into here is just a simple seated cable row. I'm going to swap out the handles here quickly. I like doing these neutral to start, and part of the reason why I like doing them neutral is because it's a little bit easier with my clients initially. But what you're looking at again is back engagement. So we're going to set the bench up. Put a little bit of weight on there for you guys, just so you guys can see how it actually looks. And then from here, again, the biggest thing with any exercise, you want to make sure that you're nice and straight, chest up, shoulders back. We're just going to drop the elbows a little bit, come straight in, squeeze the back, and straight down. The big thing here is don't start with your biceps, start with your shoulder blades, right? Squeeze the back, and come straight down. And then our last exercise, this one is a secret one, and a lot of people don't use this in the gym. They should be using it a lot more. Part of the reason why, it helps with the upper back, it helps stretch the chest, and it works with the rotator cuffs. The last one we have is the face pull. Okay. So same setup, I'm gonna use the handles for this just because it's easier. You can use a rope as well. But basically from here, nice and straight, hands facing down or pronated from that position, right? Again, squeeze the back and pull straight up past the face. Straight down, right? Make sure you retract your shoulder blades again, right? Hands straight up to the ears and straight down. Doing those 3 exercises more consistently will add better stability and therefore increase your bench. Tip number 2, right? We talk a lot about stability, and I talked a lot about the posterior chain, but not a lot of people realize that the rotator cuffs add a lot of stability to the shoulder, and when you add more stability to the shoulder, you can increase any sort of pushing. So I'm going to show you guys 3 more exercises that can help with rotator cuffs and more or less strengthening the infraspinatus, the supraspinatus, the subscap, and the teres minor.
It's okay. I have no idea what any of those things mean either.
So we're gonna go into the first one. Big thing here, I'm gonna use cables. You can actually use a barbell for this very first one, but what it is just an external rotation overhead. If you're getting started with this, you can do it with a single arm, or you can do it double if you're using cables. If you're using a barbell, obviously do double, but we're gonna start off with cables, showing you both just to save time. So we set the cables up nice and low here. I'm going to step back. I like to take a stagger stance, but you can stand perfectly straight if you'd like. Right? From that position, we're going to bring down the elbows to 90 degrees, right? And rotate straight back, leave the elbows where they are, and come straight down. Rotate, come straight down. So that's your vertical external rotation. The next one here that we're gonna do is a 45-degree external rotation. The importance here is making sure you do all of them, and that way you can hit every single section, right? So, with this one, for any beginner, you can start with the inside of the hip or the near the belly button, right? But I'm gonna start actually on the outside of the hip. In this position, we're gonna step back with the leg closer to the cables, hand on the hip, the other hand on the other hip, chest up, shoulders back, rotate 45, and come down. Obviously, make sure you guys do both sides. And then our last one here is actually a horizontal rotation. So just making sure that you get vertical 45 degrees and also horizontal will hit all the areas of the rotator cuff. Same positioning, I'm gonna set up one foot back, that's closer to the cables, the other outside. For any beginner, you can actually start here, right? So if you're starting in this position, the movement isn't as big. You start from the middle, it's a little bit more range of motion, and then from the very end, the most range of motion. Again, creating stability in the shoulders will bring up your bench. So our third tip, right? A lot of people nowadays run into a repetitive strain injury because they work in a factory or we're hunched over a desk. If we're hunched over a desk, we have internal rotation of the shoulders. Normally what you see when a lot of people walk is the hands will sit like this. We want to make sure that they're by the side. One of the best ways to improve your bench and just overall help with everyday life is to stretch your chest. So you can do this on any door sill, or you can do this on any sort of area where you can just walk through, more or less, right? But basically what we're gonna do, take a 90-degree angle, right up against something. From there, we're gonna take the leg that arm is up with, and we're gonna move it forward, walking through, and we're just gonna hold this position, getting a nice stretch in the chest. Remember, there's two sides. Make sure you guys do the other side as well. As always, I'm Matt Ryan from work, and behind the camera, at Steve Sansford. We hope you enjoy the episode, and remember, the mind must be right or the body never will be.
Thanks for watching, and bye for now.